Our today's agenda will be custom setting, custom metadata types, data import wizard, data export, and data loader to import and export. So let me go. Yeah, custom setting. So custom settings are very similar, or it's similar to the custom object. So if you have created any custom object, so custom settings are also like the custom set object only, but it will it will give you the accessibility to like it will have the static data. You can create custom fields over there. You can also use those custom field in your formula field or validation rule or flow or apex classes, but it will have the static data, and it will have the accessibility to org wide. So it will have so you can't restrict or you can't give the access, or you can't share that custom setting to anyone. So it will be shared with everyone. So it will be like yeah, you will be having two types of access. Like you can give a public type or protected type. So in public type, what it will have, like it will be shared with everyone in your organization. So it will anyone, any user, any profile, any user with or role will access that custom setting, and it will have the static data. And but to deploy this custom settings, you that custom setting will be deployed automatically by using its name, but you have to deploy the field and the data uh, separately, and custom setting will have two types of custom setting. We have custom setting two type, like list custom setting and hierarchy custom setting. So list will have the list type of set of your data. So a list like array will if you have worked on Java or any other language, then you might know about array. So this list will have the list of set of data, and it will you can access this list type of custom setting in your apex classes or in your formula field. But and the yeah the, but for in formula field and validation rule, you can only access that hierarchy custom setting. You can't use that list custom setting, but you can access this list custom setting in flows and apex classes. Hierarchy custom setting, it's the data which you can personalize with your you can give access to a particular profile or a particular user. So it will be based on your hierarchy, the role are working same. This custom setting will be working. So let me go and create a custom setting, and you will get more understanding about it. So this is I think, yeah. So we are in setup wizard. We'll go type custom setting. So under this develop, build, and develop, you can create custom setting. Click on this, and yeah, so for now we don't have any custom setting. Let me go and create one. So it is same like object. So it's we have to give the label like custom setting demo. Object name is should come automatically. Custom setting demo. Okay, so custom type tips. Why there is we can't create setting type as list? There should be a permission which for that I have to assign that in my profile or a user. profile to create list type of that custom setting. For that, like it would have disabled, so that I am not able to create the custom list type of custom setting. Let me go in my profile and check list. List is list. View all custom settings. So I don't know this will help or not. Let me go. No, I am not able to give this permission. So leave it for now. Like I'm going to create hierarchical and try in your org. I don't know why. Like I should have a permission to create a list type of custom setting. I don't know why it is like happening in my organization. I think there should be a like accessibility which I have not enabled. I'll look into this and I'll let you know. For now, like create a hierarchical, and you just try to create this list type of in your org. Let me know if you are able to create or not. So this is the hierarchical custom setting, and here same like an object you can create fields over here, but there will be the limited type of data type you can use in custom settings. So checkbox you can create currency, date time, email number, percent, font, text area, and URL. You can't create a relationship here, and you can create like formula or any other like so you so these type of data type will be available here. So let me go and create a email or a text only. Name, you have to provide the length of this. You can make it required or unique or external ID, like a custom field you create in custom object. So this is your field have created. You can create or next. Let me go and save this. So I have created this custom setting. You can access this by using this API name in your Apex classes, and you can use this API name of your field, custom settings field. So this is same like a custom object, but the main difference of this is this will be the static data. So here you can create a static data, like for example we have a country, like country type of field or country type of object, which will be using in every object. Like in contact you might have the address, in opportunity you might have address, in account, lead, any every object or maybe some number of object you will be having these type of detail. Like a country, let's say example, let take this example. Key country in address, in address you will have street a field where you will provide the street address. You will have the city field where you will provide the city. So I'll give you this example. In account you will have a address field where you can give. So let me edit this. So here is the address information. So see here, like if you will see in your objects, in your field, in your this account object, you will see the address field only. But the what is this is you will not have city here. Like see, we have account, we have in billing street, billing city, billing state and province, and shipping state shipping. So this is a custom setting which they are using in this account object. So here you can't see the billing city or billing address in the field. But what is this custom setting? This billing address is a custom setting. This There is a shipping address is a custom setting. So they have a custom setting where you can create a static data, like you can create a country custom setting here, sorry, address custom setting here. In address you can create country, state, street, uh, division or zip code, whatever you want to give for that specific custom setting you can create. And this will be the static, like for every country there are bunch of states. So for every state there will be like you can create the you can give the street address over there, pin code will be there. So this kind of custom setting you can use in your formula, in your custom object, you can use in apex classes or anywhere. So this will be the static, and you can anyone can use. Okay, so is there any question on the this custom setting? Okay, so yeah, next is custom metadata type. So this custom metadata type is also same like custom setting, which is like you can, but it is it's a metadata type, like it's a type of the data. You can provide the type like a, and you can create field over here like a custom setting as well. But what it will do is it will have the static data which will be a metadata type, and you can use this static data to deploy in your to in your package or in your application. So you don't need to deploy these fields separately, but this field will be going with this custom metadata type when you will package it in a package, or you will deploy in this is in a application. So it is same like custom metadata type, and you can create these type of fields in custom metadata type. Like you will have this relationship field also. You can create a lookup relationship with any custom metadata type. You can create checkbox, date time, email, phone number, percent, and these field you can create in custom metadata type. Let me go and create a custom metadata type. So what's the main difference between custom metadata type and custom this setting? So these are some differences. Like in custom setting you will have you can create list type of like a set of custom setting and a hierarchical. But in custom metadata type you can only create custom like fields or custom metadata type in a single entity. And you can use this custom metadata type in anywhere in your org. And you can package this in an environment, and you can migrate from one environment to another environment. And for this custom setting you can migrate this to one environment to another environment, but you have to deploy its field separately, its data separately. And you can create, edit and delete these data, custom settings data, by using apex. But you can't create, edit and delete this custom metadata type by using apex. You have to create or edit or delete by manually. So this will be the more secure option to use the static data in your org. And you can create page layout validation rule for this custom metadata type, but you will not have this page layout and all for this custom setting. And yeah, you can so this custom setting for this test classes. So we have test classes in Apex to cover the test coverages for all the Apex classes and triggers. So this custom setting will not be visible without this see all data annotation. So we have to use @ see all data to see this custom setting. But this custom metadata type will be available without this see all data. We don't need to use this see all data to custom metadata type. You can in this custom metadata type you can query unlimited. So this is the main difference. This is another difference between custom setting, custom object, and custom metadata type. Like in custom setting we have a governor limit. So according to the architecture of Salesforce, we have multi-tenant architecture, so we have some governor limits. We can't use more data, we can't play with more data in our Salesforce organization. So like we have a fixed amount of data to be faced from Apex, to be faced from the organization, which is 50,000 per transaction. By using SOQL, we can only perform 200 SOQL. So by using if we are going to fetch any data, like if we are going to fetch accounts data, and if we write this SOQL in a for loop and we perform this SOQL more than 200, then it will give you the error. It will not perform this transaction. So we have 200 only. So there is a limit of SOQL, 200 SOQL. We can only perform 200 SOQL. So there is a limit for DML operation. We can only perform 150 DML. So there are some governance limits. So to overcome those limits, we will create custom setting and custom metadata type. So what this custom setting and custom metadata type will do is, in this custom setting and custom metadata type, we don't have any SOQL limit. So we can use unlimited SOQL to face this custom metadata type and custom setting. So this is the another difference between custom object and custom metadata type and custom setting. So let me go and create custom metadata type. So here also you will find this build and develop, and you will find this custom metadata type under develop. Go click on this, and here is the button to create a custom metadata type. This is also will be, this will also same like you can create a account setting or address which type of name you want to give. Like I'll go and give a C metadata demo. Okay. So this visibility you can provide like visible by setting only, or you want to reference this in a validation rule or this. So for now, we are not going to use this. So by default, we'll go further like, and this will be the same like your custom object and custom setting. So custom setting will not have these the standard field, but this custom metadata type will be having the standard field. You will have a validation rule. You will create a page layout for this. You can create custom fields over here, and this custom metadata type will have __ MDT in their API name. So how you will get to know this thing, like if there is a __ MDT after the name of this object, or what can I say, this entity, you will know that this is the metadata type. So this MDT refers to the metadata type. __ C will refer to the custom object. And if there is no __ C or __ metadata type MDT, then that will be the standard object. So these account, contact, opportunity, contacts, orders, they don't have underscore underscore c or underscore underscore mdt. The underscore underscore c, the student object will have this underscore underscore c, and this custom metadata type which we have created now, this will have this underscore underscore mdt. So we can create custom fields, we can create validation rule over here. So let me go and create a custom field. You can create a relationship, like if we don't have any custom metadata type for now, like you can create a relationship with any other object as well. You can create this type of field. So let me go and create text for now. Okay, so here also I'll take this example. Same like the custom field which you create in custom object, you can give required and unique thing. So this will be the adding into your page layout and save. So you will have this name and all. By going this manage metadata demos, you can create records. So let me go and manage. So this will be your object. Here you can give label, like what do you want to give label, mdt1, and this will be the unique name. So what it will do, it will be a type of your record. So I'll give mdt1 type. So this will be the this will be your field API name, and you can use that name in Apex or any flow or any validation rule and any formula field, and this will return all the fields. Like for now we have only this custom field which is name, but you can create as many field as you want, and this mdt1 will return full record of this. So this will be the static record, and you can use this mdt1 in our in your org. So here is the one record which is mdt1. You can go and create another one. For now, like we have this one, so this will return the full record, and you can create as many as you want. So in this custom setting also, I haven't created record, so let me go and create a custom setting record. In this also you will, like we have this custom setting demo, and by clicking on this manage, so here you can find your custom fields which you can create more over here. By going this manage button, you can create records. So here you can create new profile, like for which profile do you want to create this record. So I have created this hierarchical. In list type of custom setting, you will not have this option. So this hierarchical, you will have this option. So for now, like I'm going to create a record for the specific profile which is a system administrator. So only the system administrator will be able to see this record. So example one. So I have created this record, and only the system administrator profile user will be able to see this record. So for this type of thing also you can perform over here. And custom metadata type, in custom metadata type there will not be any hierarchical set. So that will be using by all the users. So yeah, this is the custom metadata type. Anyone having any question on this custom metadata type for now? Okay, so there are some other differences like in custom setting and custom metadata type. So unlimited calls and queries for both, like in custom setting and custom metadata type, both you can perform unlimited queries in your Apex call. You can retrieve or deploy and you can package also by all the definition which is your custom metadata type or custom metadata custom setting. But the record of the that custom setting you can't retrieve, deploy or package. But in custom metadata type, the record also will get deploy or retrieve or package into your one organization, one environment to another environment. So that will be the deployment part. We will get to know more about it when we will have session on the deployment thing. But there will be a deployment which we can deploy one or the data or the codes or the application or custom object and all things from one environment to another environment. So which I have told you earlier, like we have sandbox and uh, the production environment, so we can deploy from sandbox to production. So this is the thing which we can't deploy. So the records we can't deploy from custom setting, but the records which are from custom metadata type we can deploy by same with this one transaction. Native user interface, so this will be the native user interface for now. So roadmap is something which is like a custom object thing, so which we have seen just, and this interface, this will be the same like native user interface. And protect hide, so in this in packaging you can protect or hide this custom setting and custom metadata type both. But the records you can't hide in custom setting, but you can hide in that custom metadata type. So that will be on the roadmap of Salesforce. So so now maybe it might be in beta or maybe another version, pilot version, but it is on roadmap of that Salesforce. Apex test to see record. So this will I have earlier mentioned that see all data. You can access all the data from custom setting in test classes by using this see all data of custom metadata type, but you can't see this see all custom settings data in test classes without this see all data annotation. And native Apex support to create and update. So you can create and update records of custom settings in Apex transaction, Apex classes or triggers, but you can't create or edit custom metadata type records in Apex classes and triggers. So this is the another difference in custom setting and data type, metadata type. Now, so if there is any question, please let me know. Now we will, yeah, we have this data import wizard in Salesforce. So data import and export, they both are like a part of data migration thing in Salesforce. So we can import and export data from Salesforce, on we can import data in Salesforce by using some tools. So we have a inbuilt tool which is data import wizard. Obviously we have some limitations over here, but we have another client side tool as well, which is data loader. We will be get to know more about it later. But yeah, data import wizard have a standard functionality which can by using this we can include, we can create and update records in our standard object or as well as in our custom object in Salesforce. But we have a limitation, like we can create or edit 50,000 records at a time by using this data import wizard. So in one single transaction, you can only create or edit 50,000 records, not more than that. So this is the limitation of this data import wizard. And this is the picture. So we will like for this for using this data import wizard, first we have to prepare the data in Excel sheet, like we it will use the .csv file. So we'll prepare the data in CSV file, then we will import it, and then we have to map the fields with the correct field name in Salesforce, and then review and start import. So let me go and open the data import wizard. So I have a CSV file ready with me. So we will be deploying that. So we have this lead import Excel file. So we have this first name, last name, email, phone, the title, and all those things ready with me, and I'll be like importing these data into Salesforce lead object. So let me go and open this lead for now. Let me go and open all the leads. So how many leads we have for now? 15 leads we have. So we have these leads as of now, which are standard leads of Salesforce. We have 15. So let me go and insert by using this data import wizard. So by searching in quick find box data import wizard, you will click on this data import wizard and you will open this page. So here you can read more about it, like status. You can so this here you will see the recent import job, so which you have created earlier, but for now we have not imported yet. So let me go and launch wizard, and it will launch the data import wizard. So this will be the button here, and so this is the lightning view of this data import wizard. So here what we have to do is we have three steps. We have to choose data, then edit mapping, and then start importing. We here in which object you have to select the standard object from here. So these are coming into the relationship. So if you are going to create or edit data into account or contact, you can use select this. If you are going to create data into lead, in custom object you can select, like we have these custom objects. So this look, this custom setting also coming, so you can import data over your custom setting also. So for now we are going to create data into lead. So what you want to do here, you have to provide the correct option, like you want to create record, you want to update record, or you want to create and update, which is a upsert part. Like if you have records already in Salesforce, you can update that. If there is no records, then you can create. So that is the upsert part. So it is insert, update, or upsert. So these three transaction only you can perform in this data import wizard. So for now we are going to create. So to match, you can match like we have a unique, if you have a unique field in your custom object or any object, you can match your data with that. So we have this name also unique, this email also unique. So we are going to match this data by email. Assign new lead to the source. So which type of source do you want to assign? So we have a uh, lead source field. So which, if you are going to import this data, so which source you are going to assign. So for now we are going to assign as a web. See all lead using status. So what we have standard, so assignment rule we are not going to perform for now. So there is some standard functionality for lead, so you can also give that. And here what you can do is where your data you have to select. So Gmail CSV, SCT, I don't know what about it, and Outlook CSV and CSV you can import over here. Let me go and click the CSV. This will ask you a CSV file here. In this, I should have this. So this is the Excel file. So Excel file is not supported. Let me go and save this as a CSV. CSV. Okay, now Okay, so now this is done. So we will go and click next over here, and then it will fetch all the data from the CSV. So what it fetched, first name it mapped already, so it will automatically map your data with the Salesforce object as well. So this is the CSV headers, and this is the mapped Salesforce object. So first it already mapped with the first name, last name. You can also like confirm once. So here you can see the example also from your Excel site. So Excel sheet. So here you can see those. So what it is like, it have not mapped this address line. So for this you have to map it, like it didn't understand. So there is no field in your lead object which is called as address line one. So for this you have to give, so what it is let me go and select address. So there is no address field. It should have street. So there is a street field in lead which we are going to map with this address. So it have mapped this street, and this owner it didn't understood. So lead owner, but for lead owner we should have the ID, I think. Let me go and save first. Yeah, we have mapped this, and yeah, so you can review here like lead object, add new record, and this is the CSV file. All the fields which are mapped, which is 15, unmapped field 0. Here you can review your data and start importing. So it will be, so it will show you the this message like your data import has started, and you can see your bulk data job in the your data import wizard. So it is the, so this is the job detail which like it has been started, and it progress is 100%. So you can also oversee key record processed are 44 records are processed, how many are failed and how many success also you can see, where you can see, let me records failed 0. So all the records are successfully inserted in your lead object. So let me go and open lead. Here we have a lead. Let me go and refresh. So earlier we were having 15 records, now it is 59. So all the records have been inserted successfully. So this is the data import wizard. You can create records, you can update record by using that. So any question on that? So this is the data import wizard, and now we come to the, okay, so I see there is a question. Is there any predefined format to export data, import data? Okay, so predefined format means like, I didn't get you, Sudeep.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know, I mean, if when we are importing that CSV file, should there be any, I mean, in terms of column names or any particular format that needs to be followed while importing the data?
Exactly. So what here, like we have this, for example, we have this email field. So we have a standard validation over here in our lead object, which will not allow you to enter a text, like it, if I'll go and edit this, let me go. Uh, so there is a validation. Look, I will give this. It will not allow you to enter this invalid email address. So this should be in the same format, email format. So if there is a like error in your email, like if you have given any other which is not matching in your validations in your Salesforce, so this will allow, this will throw the error for that particular record. So if we have some, so this is the a pick list field. So the bio technology field, this value should be coming from your pick list field. So we have this industry field. So we should have this biotechnology value in our pick list field, in our object. Other than, like, if you will give other like value, if I'll give this one, so it will not match in your field, so it will throw the error. So these values should match from your object. Got it? So, and these header,
Yeah,
so it will
got it.
map automatic, yeah. So it will map automatically by using these headers. So you have to give these header, first name, last name. It will map automatically. If it will not map, like for this address line one, it didn't match that street address. So for that you have to map manually. So that is the only thing you have to consider. Okay, so this is the thing you have to consider when you are going to insert or update record. And in update record, like while inserting record, you don't need to give any ID, because it will be the new records to be inserted in your database. So, but to update record, what you have to give is you have to mention the ID. So which record you are going to update. So this is the ID of the record. So, like there are 59 number of leads in your object, lead object. So which record from this 59 you are going to update? So that particular record's ID you have to mention to update that record. If you will not give the ID and you are performing the update uh, transaction, then it will throw the error. Okay, so this is the data import wizard, and we have this data export, like data export wizard also. So we have data export, so we can export data by scheduling basis. Like we can schedule data export to a specific, like when you want to schedule, like monthly or weekly, you can schedule your data export. So every first day of every month it will be exported your all the data, or every Sunday it will be exported. So this kind of schedulation action you can, schedulation action you can provide. You can schedule your export, data export by weekly and monthly. You can export, if you want to export now, you can export that as well. So what, for this you have to click on this export now, and by clicking on this you can include those images and custom, that standard document of Salesforce. And you have to select which object you are going to export. So you can export in bulk amount of object also. You can, like many number of object at a time you can't, you can also export. So for now, like if I want to export the student object data, so include all data will be including all the objects. So let me go and export the student object data. So this will do is, this will start your exporting, and it will send you the email as well when it will be exported. So, and you can refresh over here also. So it will be in a queue. A data export is currently in progress for your organization. Your export has been queued. You will receive an email notification when it is completed. So this will be exported like this. You can schedule your export by monthly or by weekly. So by clicking on this, which date, which day of your month you can provide, like 10th month, every month, 10 day, like 10th date you are going to export. So you can schedule from which date to till which date it should end. So you can schedule your specific export data to, like a time also you can give, keep which time you are you want to export. By weekly also you can select like first Sunday, or which Sunday, Monday. For every month you can schedule your export, and which object you are going to schedule. So you can give that detail as well, and it will be scheduling on, it will be exporting your data on the schedulable action. Got it? So this is the data export. It's same. It's like it's very simple. There is no like complexity over here. So this is export, data export. So I'll get an email. I'll receive an email and I'll show you the export file once it will done. So let me go and cover the next topic. So what we have, so data export, yeah, we can export data by using data export wizard, which I have just shown you. So it will be exported in a CSV file, and you can schedule your data export by weekly, every 7 day, or by monthly. And you can export data by using the data loader as well. So data loader is nothing but a client application which you have to install in your machine separately, and you can use that. So by using the data loader, you can insert record, you can update record, you can upsert, delete, and export all. So this is the data loader, and you can install in your local machine, and you can perform these action by using this data loader. So and here also you have to provide this CSV file, and if you are going to export, then you can perform the SOQL. So you can write the SOQL query, like it's simple like SQL, and you can select all the records and which of fields you are going to export, that you can provide there, and it will exporting your data. So this insert, what it will do is it will insert the data. This update will update the data. Here you have to provide the ID of the record. Upsert, what it will do is, if there is a ID in your data, and if that particular ID of that record is available in Salesforce, then it will be creating that data. Otherwise, if there is no data for that particular record, then it will be inserting that data. So it will perform insert and update both the action in the single transaction. The delete will be deleting the data. Hard delete, what it will do is, so after deleting in Salesforce, what we have is, after deleting a data, like I have deleted this. Let me go and delete this. So I have deleted this record, but it will be remain for 15 days for the security purpose. So from here I have deleted. So now 58 records are there, but there is a recycle bin over here in Salesforce. So you can go and you can like reverse back to that. You can also like if I want to undelete that, it will again go its actual place. So you can undelete over there, but once you have manually empty that recycle bin, or after 15 days, it will be like hard delete from here. It will not be available here. So it will be available for first 15 days, and then after it will not available here. So this is the recycle bin. And this hard delete, what it will do is, this will delete from recycle bin as well. So we have if you are using that I most of the time I use shift and delete. So when we delete any file from our computer, so if you delete simple by clicking the delete button and enter, then it will delete, but it will be remain in your recycle bin folder. From there you have to manually empty your recycle bin. So this recycle bin will work same like that. So if that delete will work like that, so it will be remain in your recycle bin. But this hard delete, what it will do is, when you click shift uh, with the delete button, it will delete from your all the organization. So it will not also will be available in your recycle bin. So this hard delete will do. And export, like it will export simple, like you have to provide that SOQL query. So according to that SOQL, it will export all the data from objects. And what this export all will do is, it will export all the data, including the recycle bin also. So if you have deleted so what in lead object, so you have 100 number of records. and 15 records you have deleted in your last 15 days. So that those 15 records will be available in your recyclable as well. So this export will export only 100 bleeds, but this export all will export 100 plus those 15 which are available in recycle bin also. So that also will be exported by using this export detail, export all. So 115 records will be there in export all. Got it? So here by using this data loader, we can insert, update, or delete data not more than 5 million. So there is a limit of 5 million, which is enough, I guess, for every organization. So we can perform 5 million records at a single transaction. If we want to perform more than that, then we have to perform in another transaction. So this is the limit of data loader. So let me go and so let me see this first. What it is, how much it will take. Okay, so it is ready now, and I should receive an email. I think there is a another email ID which I have given. Never mind. So I'll down. So here in the monthly export service. So here you can find your export data. So I'll download it. It will be in the zip file, and I'll download it. I'll show you the student data which I have imported. So this will be in the CSV file. Look, so it will give you all the, so it will face that ID, honor ID, the name of the student, and the all the other record data like last modified date, and every record will be faced. So this kind of export thing you can perform by using export data export wizard. And yeah, let me go and insert some records by using data loader. So let me open data loader. So I have installed this data loader. Any question till now? So I have a file called account site, which is in okay, which is in CS. So I think it's a CSV file. Okay. So yeah, it's a CSV file. So let me. So this is the data loader. So here you can see all the actions are available, all the buttons are available. So you can delete or delete also from you by using these. So let me go and insert some records. So here you have to log in because this is the external application. So here you have to select, and in you have to log in from here. So this auth will ask you the username and password. The password authentication, what it will do is it will save your username and password for this particular URL. And uh, if you are going to use multiple times this data loader, then it will save your username password, and every time you don't need to enter those. So this will be the password authentication. So here let me sign in here. Let me check my data. So this is my username, and this is my password. Okay. So here you have to give the access. and it will ask, it will verify, it will give you, you have to provide the verification code. I should have received that. Let me open my mobile. Okay, so yeah, I have received that. So what's that? 5050892. So I have received this verification code in my email. So if you are using this first time, then it will ask you, oh, it will ask you. After that, it will not ask, and you have to give, click allow this data loader to use this your organization. So I have provided my username and password, and it will be logged in automatically. So it will show you this message, so login successful. After the login successfully, you need to click next, and here what in which object you are going to insert the record. So here you can see all the objects which are available in your org for now, and you can insert in teacher, you can insert in student. So for now I'm going to insert in the account. Here you have to choose the CSV file. So let me go and choose the CSV file. Where is the document? Okay, so this is my CSV file. I'll go click next, and it will display you all the records which are available in your CSV file. It will be initializing, and it will show you your operation will contain 11 records. So we have 11 records for now. So here only the two fields available in your CSV file, which are account name and account site. So you have to map these name. So here you have to click create or edit map. You can use the existing map also. You can if you have used this earlier, then you can create and save mapping, and you can use that mapping. Let me go and click auto mapping, so it will map automatically. So what it will do is it will it map this account name to name, account site to site. Let me check account site. Yeah, so this account site to site, it have map. So let me go and okay, so it automatically mapped. And next, and here you have to select the folder where you are going to store the error or success file. I'm going to select the folder, so it will give you two files. When this transaction completed, it will give you two files, the success records file and the error records file. So how many records have successfully inserted, or how many records are errors and they are not inserted, it will give you two CSV files. So here I'll click finish, and it will ask you for confirmation. It will loading using bulk API insert, and it will insert those records. Yeah, so here, so what it the operation has fully completed. So there were zero successful, and insert are 11. So though all are not inserted for now, let me go and check what's the error. Okay, so so this is the two files I have received, the success file and error file. So there should not be any because there is zero records which are inserted, so there is no records in error. What is the error? You can see. So these all records are not inserted. Account site. So these all records are not inserted. So what is the error they have given is the validation rule. So the license is not found or has been expired. What type of licenses? Okay, let me open this account. Test or account site is test. Let me save this. Okay, review all error message. The correct the license is not found or has been expired. This okay. So I have a validation rule over here on this account object. So let me go and so there should be a validation rule. Yeah, this is the validation rule. I have to inactivate this. License approved is equal to false. So that also I have to give true. So earlier I have used this one. So let me go and now I will insert all those records. I'll select this account. Again, I'll select this account site. Next, 11 operations automatically map. Okay, next and finish. Now it should insert all the records. Okay, so as you can see here, so 11 successful, there is no error. So this type of thing you can perform by using this data loader. Let me go and open the records. Okay, so see we have created this record. So you can see the Burlington Textile Corp America. So this is the Burlington Textile Corp America. This is the Edge Communication. This is the Edge Communication. So these records you can insert by using data loader. You can update those. You can delete those. So these kind of some actions you can perform by using data loader. Any question on that till now? Here are some links of Trailhead. You can so these are some resources of custom setting, custom metadata type, and all those topics which we have covered today. You can go through once and try to create some custom metadata type and settings and use in your formula field of any other object, and try to insert some records and update records or delete some record by using these tools. And in Trailhead also you will find some like some projects. So they will be having some Excel file. So you have to insert those records and update those records. So try to complete those Trailhead modules. And how many are you working on your Trailhead account or not? Like we all should be like which we all should we achieve that ranger rank till complete this training. So how many of you have achieved that record? I know Sudeep is a ranger for now. So how many other are working on that or not?
I have some 52 badges so far.
Yeah, so Siddhi, so there is only like 48 badges are remaining to be a ranger rank. So
Yeah,
please,
there's so many though.
yeah, yeah,
But
there are
I'm
no so
trying.
many. Mhm.
Yeah.
Keep trying and keep moving and try to become a ranger in like before completing this session. So if you will go through all the resources which I have linked over all the PPTs, you will there will not be any problem to get all the bases, and you will be the ranger
Okay.
after. Yeah. So try to complete as many bases as many you can on trailhead, and try to achieve that ranger rank. And yeah, so this is the our today's session. Any question till now?